dim lit chandeliers glow. We'll sip our worries away, nice and slow. Your laughter ripples like sweet warm wine. In this jazzy sultry space you're mine. The saxophone croons a velvet tune, while melodies dance beneath the moon. We'll toast to moments both grand and small, in this hazy, lazy, jazz-touched hall. Let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you. Your eyes, they sparkle with every click. Sweet rendezvous over a simple drink. We'll share our secrets in whispers low, just you and me where the jazz flows slow. The world outside fades into the mist, but here it's our own dreamy tryst. With each sip our worries drift away. Let's stay together till the break of day. So let's sit together in the mellow night. We'll drink to love till the morning light. Every glass we raise a promise true. Here's to the magic in a drink with you.
The following live stream has been approved for appropriate audiences. It may contain occasional strong language and may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers. Viewer inebriation is advised, though not mandatory.
We've talked before about must-see TV. Certain shows were a cultural touchstone and served as a common thread during so-called watercooler talk. Now it's all about streaming on proprietary platforms behind paywalls, which means most of your friends haven't seen that show you like or won't get around to seeing it for months, and it could take more than a year before you get a new season. A season of maybe 10 episodes if you're lucky. We're going to talk about why that is and what we've lost. Top off your glasses, get comfortable, and we'll roll this Canarble wagon right now.
Last Call is streamed before a live audience.
And Vasalut, and welcome to Last Call. Happy Friday. I always say during Liquid Lunch that actually I consider the midday lunchtime to be the start of the weekend. But if you don't agree with that, that's fine. This is now the official start of the weekend then. Welcome. So glad you could make it. I want to say hi to... support those who support you. And Ruby Hoove is such a huge supporter. Coming and gifting a membership went to John Pontaliero. Thank you so much, Ruby Hoove, for your generosity. I can't express. She has done so much to grow this community. And she is the spearhead behind my goal of reaching 100 members by the end of the year. I was saying earlier today, if every single member were to gift one membership, that would get me to my goal. Boom, right there, just double my number right off the bat. But, not everyone that is a member, and I appreciate the support, is always watching every stream, and you do what you can do, I understand. But Ruby Hoove is just so consistent in her giving. I appreciate you so much, Ruby. I hope you are doing well. And speaking of members, right? Let me start with my most beautiful member, who was gifted a membership last week, and that is a netter of Netters Network. How you doing, my dear? And what are you sipping on? I didn't make you a drink tonight. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I forgive you.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling
Better than yesterday?
Yeah, it's been a week, and it's been a day.
Yeah.
Those of you who are on Liquid with Lunch, you probably saw my comment that I finally finished my self-eval because it was due today. So over the last couple of days, my stress level's been kind of high because it's like I knew it was due, and I knew it would take a while to do. Because those of you who have had to do your reviews, and they make you do your portion first, you know it takes a couple of hours to do. And then you got to think of the right wording and all that stuff. And it can be a royal pain. So
got a little AI
it
help.
literally took me, I want to say it took me about 3 hours to do my self-eval. And I even kind of cheated a little bit, because what I did is, I've been with my company, see, March of next year will be 5 years. So I had taken all the verbiage I had put in and all my previous reviews and put them into one Word doc so I could kind of search, and took some, something that's like, oh, I like the way I word this here, or I like the, what I said here. And then we have a proprietary, like a chat GPT thing for our company. And I threw it in there and said, make this sound more professional for an annual review. And it came back with, for your annual review, you'll want this. Feel free to reword if necessary. And I would, like tweak a word or two because it didn't really sound like me. And I wanted it to sound more like me. But it's like, that is for any of you all that have to do reviews, do that sheet. Have a Word doc with all your previous reviews in there so you can kind of steal answers from previous years, because they're not going to remember. They really aren't. Especially if you've changed managers or whatever, like I have. I've changed managers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times since I've been with the company. So, yeah, they're not going to know or remember. So that's a nice little cheat for you.
I do want to point out that the use of a chatbot to upscale the language that you're using in a business letter, let's be honest with you, that's what those AIs are actually for. They are basically just language and grammar checkers on steroids. Yeah. That's really all they are. So,
and I have another helpful hint for you, because I'll write down little notes every once in a while when I come across a little cheat. And today I was like, oh right, I've got that one. If you hit the Windows key and the letter H, it will come up a little microphone and you can talk, and it'll type what you're saying. It made it so much easier when I got tired of typing, because I am not a fast typist. So
the boomers learning the technology here.
Well, I didn't know that cheat existed.
That's okay. I'm learning this stuff too. I'm not casting aspersions or anything.
And if you're like me, your thoughts will get ahead of what you're trying to type, and it's like, wait, what was it I wanted to say now? And so you'll lose something if you're trying to type, because you usually type slower.
Pretty soon you'll just have chips in your head and you'll just think the words onto the paper.
So I was able to just call up the microphone and say, I want this bullet point, I want this to say this, I want this to say this. And then so I threw it on to our chat GPT thing and said, make this sound better. So I was able to get my self-eval done. I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
And then me, I'm always like, duck you, auto cucumber. It's never a duck. But anyway.
Yeah. But yes, I am feeling so much better because all the stress is gone. I am sitting here sipping on my Polar
just
brand,
seltzer water.
Black cherry seltzer water, which is my usual.
Certainly.
And if you know how I can get a
sponsorship from them, that would be great.
Be amazing.
And speaking of members, member for one day, well, not quite a day yet, but will have been a day today, is Aged Boomer. And I never really thought about it, whether or not you were a member or not, but you became a member today. Welcome to membership.
I figured it was time.
What, did they give you a 25-cent raise at work and you figured
Oh, very funny, man.
splurge?
No, man. No, I for some reason I thought I was too, and I'm like, I'm technically not a member, am I? I'm not, so I was
I
like,
thought maybe you were just real eager to watch Zombieland on Monday, or even. Well, actually, I'm going to open up the members' night at the movies to all audiences a week from Monday, because that will be the day of my annual holiday special, Life Day celebration. So you could join us for that by all means.
I think I think you and I though should definitely do a Christmas one, a Christmas movie that's not exactly a Christmas movie, but it takes place at Christmas time, that sort of deal, like we did last time.
Are you going to tell me Bad Ronald takes place at Christmas time or
It
something?
does
like
not,
that?
so you're lucky there, aren't you?
Okay. Let's start
Right.
saying hi.
No. Before we start saying hi, you didn't ask me what I was sipping on for starters.
What are you
I'm sipping on a
sipping on? I'm
Coke.
sorry.
Thank you very much.
Because
And
you're my designated driver.
Then you asked me how
that-
I'm doing, and I'm not doing well because I have been betrayed by
Why
you
have
and
you-
Netter.
how have you been
Because I
betrayed?
was behind
Why?
the scenes, and I could have swore I heard a woman's voice in the room that was not
Mm-hmm.
Netter's. And I've come to the conclusion that Sophia is there in the studio, and
Oh,
you've been
God.
hiding her out of sight this whole time. I know
Yes.
she's in there. Sophia,
Because
show yourself.
Netter and I got something weird going on here with another girl, right? Is that what you're implying?
I'm just saying, I don't know. You got her chained to like a
Some
radiator
weird-
down there.
some
I don't know.
Mormon marriage here or something.
I'll free you,
Good God.
Sophia. I'll be your knight in shining armor. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, if it's an excuse to get you to come up to visit from
Funny man.
Florida.
Yes.
Well,
Not this time of year, isn't
clear
it
all your
cold?
toys off the
Yeah,
floor.
exactly.
Toys.
I've got, because I'm working on a
Yeah.
Cantina video. And
I have
stuff.
to say, I think my little stint as a Lego nut might be coming to an end again, because I'm like,
Those
Is there-
prices are getting pretty bad.
well, it's not even so much the prices, because like anything, if you can find bargains, like right now, Target, if you want to buy from Target, Walmart, other places, they're discounting some of the sets that are getting discontinued. So if you want to get a deal, like the Blacktron
Sure.
set I got, if I'd waited a couple weeks, I could have saved $20 on it. But
Yeah.
but it's they just take up a lot of room, and they're
Yeah,
also
they do.
a lot of little teeny pieces that you got to fit in just the right way. And I'm like, maybe.
And I'm
maybe I'll
also
take a break.
realizing as I get older, I'm starting to look at my collections of things and starting to go, maybe I should start minimizing a little bit, especially if I'm going to be moving in the next decade or so.
We'll see.
But anyway, yes, let us say hello to
Yes.
starting with Lady Mist, who is dropping the blue emojis, which encourage Netter so much, and she says hello to me. Thank you so much. Lester San Jose Skeptic Tank Obsessions says, ooh, we'll tune in when home. He's on his way home. Be careful. Drive safely. By the way, those of you that joined me for Liquid Lunch know I'm drinking a vodka cranberry right now. Actually, I opted, instead of going with cranberry, it's actually cherry. And you can probably tell by how dark it is. I went kind of heavy on the juice. It might lighten up as the night goes by. We'll see. Welcome, Connie Cleary, Bird Woman of YouTube. JPRPH1, thank you so much. Faithful channel member twice over. Let's see here. Mark Melnikoff, here I are. So glad you are here. Salute from Deleted Scenes. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here. Greetings from the Panhandle of Florida, aka South Georgia. Speaking of South Georgia, Panhandle of Florida, are you going to MegaCon? Because Netter and I are. And we're hoping to meet up with a bunch of other YouTubers down there. Hope you can make it down to see us there. It'd be really awesome to have a meetup. Of course, I did say hi to Ruby Hoove, who gifted that very generous membership to John Ponteliero. Thank you so much. Mark Daly says, smooth jazz time. Yes, yes, it is. Around here, it always is. I don't know about all of you. I come from a generation where jazz is relaxing music, but I always associate it with the holidays because of Vince Guaraldi and his trio. Let's see here. Netter calling me the love of her life. She is so wonderful. And that's what she says to me when she's not been drinking. You know what she says to me when she has been drinking? I'm tired. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all. Smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, I hope you do. And your weekend. Have a great one, y'all, says Ruby Hoove. Thank you so much for stopping in and being so generous. You are truly, truly one of the good ones. And John Ponteliero did pop in to say thank you to you, Ruby Hoove. Here's to the magic of a drink with you. Yes, exactly. You guys are starting to learn the words to that song. Like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Don't disappoint me. I'm in full Klingon mode this weekend. Literally. You go, man. My brother in Klindom. Absolutely. Absolutely. Meeting out the success to all the listeners. Thank you so much. Curtis Selby, the tired midnight blogger, is at work, but he's listening. I agree with you, but unfortunately my boss doesn't see it that way. I must have missed a comment, but that's okay. That's okay. Mark says, are we going to have a conversation? You were right again. Yeah, wow, were you ever right? That's usually a bad thing. Usually the things I'm right about are things I wish I wasn't. So I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. Yes, Mark, I do also know that I missed a couple calls from you. I've been out and about. You guys should know I'm a boomer. I don't take calls when I'm in the car, when I'm in a store, any place that you wouldn't have been able to reach me if I had a landline. Because I don't think it's appropriate to be taking private calls in public. That's just me.
Especially the movie theater.
That might be a rant for another time, but yes, you're absolutely right. Enigma Severus, not the Dark Ages. Yes, the Dark Ages. I can't read too small. I got to.
That was my idea too. That was my title.
Don't talk about the Kardashians. Yeah,
I'm sure they're part of the Dark Ages anyway.
We might talk a little bit about that. We'll see. Life Day, never heard of it. Well, you should. You should. It is from the dawn of the Star Wars expanded universe, which you could poo-poo all you want, but it's still better than anything Disney's done. Just saying. Geek Flag with Nate Knows says, like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not give a membership instead? Canarble. I like the way you think, my friend. I like the way you think. Robert's Infinite Realms. What up, people of the party? Hope you're good. I had a rare good day today. Well, see, there you go. We come together here either to commiserate about a brutal, brutal week or to celebrate a really, really good day and an expected wonderful weekend. However you look at it. Geek Flag is sipping on a Waterloo lemon and lime. Good for you, my friend. Good for you. Deleted Scene says, blink twice, Sophia. Let's see here. Troy, well, one of your favorite movies is Hellraiser. I'm just saying, well, okay, yeah, you got a point there. You do have a point there. Notice Lego has never made a set based on Hellraiser. Yes, because they're afraid that when you figure out finally how to get it put together, you're going to open up a gate to hell. You got to be careful on that. F. Wood, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Says, hot take. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Well, you are well and solidly in the Big Al of Big Al Presents camp. We did a whole stream on that where we butted heads over whether or not it was a Christmas movie, and the chat freaked out. They thought we were really like angry and pissed at each other. And I'm in the back like, wow, they thought I was serious. And they're like, and I'm like, guys, it was just a bit. I don't really feel that strongly about this. Oh my gosh. Mark Daly says, Aged Boomer, have you seen the Enterprise D Lego set? Well, as a matter of fact, I can speak for Boomer on this because we have an article about it.
Yeah, it was revealed this week. And we'll talk a little bit about it.
Did you see the advert that they did of it, where it's the mock-up of the opening of Next Generation with the Lego ship? The only thing is that instead of comes up with Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, all that kind of stuff, it shows their Lego counterparts, and it's like, well, it's not like we ever saw their faces in the opening, but I understand why they're doing it, But anyway,
they even included Spot.
Oh, there you go. Is this the first Lego set that would include a cat figure?
No, I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, please.
Yeah, you would think there'd be one for like Harry Potter.
It could be a particular cat, a cat that's particular to this set, and maybe it's a design they've ever done for it. I'm sure they've done cats before.
Sure. Membership drive. That's right. For as little as $2 a month, you can become a member if you're not already a member. And for $5, you can gift a membership to some random person that you can pull into our little family here and help grow the community. Gifted memberships are also welcome. Help Last Call reach 100 members by the end of the year and 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 subscribers would be absolutely wonderful because it costs nothing. All you got to do is share out the streams, share out my channel, and just tell your friends on social media, hey, this is where I hang out on Friday nights. I think you would enjoy it too. Just come on in and hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please. Let's see here. Mark Daly says, yes, barring unforeseen disasters, which do happen, but usually not so much by March. The windy season is over by then. Like cracked tooth or unemployment, well, that can happen at any time, right? I will be in Orlando around MegaCon. Good. I will find ways to let everybody in the community know where I'm going to be and when Netter and I are down there for MegaCon. When is MegaCon? It's in March.
It's March. Oh, wait, give me 1 sec to look at the calendar.
Netta's going to look it up, and she's going to let everybody know in just a moment.
2 seconds. Okay, it'll be March. Well, if it starts on the Thursday, it's the 19th through the 22nd.
Yeah, so that weekend of the 19th.
And we will be there. We'll actually be arriving probably on the Wednesday, the 18th. So, yeah, if y'all are coming down, we'd love to meet up.
Oh, I agree with you with the boss. It depends on the boss, because I've had bosses that were, very much of the same mindset. I've actually had bosses where it was like, it's time for a late Friday meeting. Oh, for crying out loud. Do you have anything really important to do? No, not really. Okay, come on in. And then we just shoot the shit for the week, for the last hour or two of the day. F. Wood says the Mandalorian is great. Well, maybe the first 2 seasons were. I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, the Romeo and Juliet story with the 2 species aliens.
In Star Wars?
I just remember we were talking about it with Pops, and I'm watching the scene of like the Mon Calamari and something else, and it's like it's a
yeah, the Mon
really?
Calamari and the other the Aqualish race, or whatever it is, from their planet. Yeah.
And I remember writing in the comments like, is that a romance going on between 2 different species? And you said it's Romeo and Juliet. That's what you said.
Yeah. Good to know we haven't touched the subject as I munch on butter, kimchi, and bacon. That's a heck of a combination. Kimchi and bacon. I am open to trying it. I absolutely am.
I've ever tried kimchi. Have you?
I have. You probably would like it. You like, what's that kraut? Sauerkraut. You like sauerkraut, yeah.
Oh gosh, I haven't had sauerkraut.
It's
in years.
another fermented vegetable. Die-hard debate can rupture friendships. Only if you feel really strongly about it. I mean, it's like Netter and I being on opposite sides of the.
He sucks, I'm Cubs.
Yeah, and it's we say that, but neither one of us really gives a crap. Die Hard is 129% a Christmas movie. Why 29%? I could have understood if you'd have said 125%, Christmas being the 25th. I say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but I won't unfriend anyone who hasn't seen The Light yet. I like that. I like that. Christmas has to have some bearing on the plot and a central theme to the Christmas movie. It is not in Die Hard. Absolutely it is. He wants to get home to be with his
family.
Christmas. It's all about family. Absolutely it is. The main character realizes the importance of family. See, Mark, I don't even have to. I'll just let you guys argue in the chat. My wife sacrifices a watch for Christmas or for family, while the villain only cares about money. How is that not a Christmas movie? Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, there's a little bit of the Grinch in there, isn't there?
I didn't think about
the entire plot of Die Hard is centered around Christmas. John McClane is invited to his wife's company Christmas party. The thieves strike Nakatomi Plaza because it's Christmas, and the building is almost empty. And and that's funny because we watched some other movies that were set at Christmas time that were way even less Christmas than Die Hard. I don't understand why people have such strong feelings about Die Hard.
Hey, Reindeer Games was about Christmas.
At least it implies it in the title, doesn't it?
And then you had that one with Liam Neeson, Run All Night, where he's the drunk Santa.
That's the one I was thinking of. That was like...
Yes, it was. He was drunk.
There's Christmas going on in the background. Well, yes, that is true. I was drunk, so there is that. See, I told you, Big Al, if he was listening, he was going to say something. I mean, Die Hard takes place on Christmas, so...
Big Al, watch Run All Night with Liam Neeson.
P.S. Lethal Weapon. I like that, Robert's Infinite Realms. That's good. That is good.
Technically, that is that one takes place at Christmas time, too. I didn't think about that.
Oh, come on, YouTube. What is the problem? The Christmas part of the falling part. Well, okay, yeah. It only takes place. There's more to it than it taking place on Christmas. Okay, guys, you can continue to argue that out in the chat. Like I said, I don't have that strong a feeling about it. That's not what we really came here to talk about, but feel free. This isn't like school where you got to pay attention, and there's going to be a quiz or anything like that. You guys can talk between yourself, pass notes and stuff. Okay. But let's get to talking about the dark ages of TV. What do you mean, the dark ages of TV, Aged Boomer?
I mean the dark. Okay, so there's like the golden age of TV, right? You've heard that expression, which I would say starts with the X-Files.
I thought it started with like the Honeymooners and I Love Lucy. Give me a break. Okay.
Give me a break. No, the X-Files really was a big start of something new. Sopranos was part of that. Yeah. Maybe even Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad from the last decade. Yeah, I would throw those in there. I mean, Game of Thrones had that final season, but up until then, it was must-see TV. Now we're just I don't know what's going on with TV. I don't know what's going on with the networks. It's like a wasteland right now. It's like the 2020s happen. It's like there's no more TV.
Welcome FKHC 2005, otherwise known as Tim. Is Debbie Does Dallas a Christmas movie? I don't know. Does it take place at Christmas time?
I
Listen to
honestly
me.
do not know.
We are here to talk about television, not movies.
Okay.
Now, for a while, television was considered like we're going to get into that with an article later, but it was kind of considered less than movies. But then TV started getting better. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some of you will poo-poo this. Lost was a big deal when that was on. You had sitcoms that were a big deal, like Seinfeld, later The Office.
True.
I mean, it was a big deal. And now here we are, and I almost think this is a follow-up to our must-see TV stream, because
Sure.
where are we? Let's look. I'm going to credit Wikipedia with this. Let's go. Well, you like that image, by the way?
Does that come from Fire Walk with Me?
It does.
I thought so.
You'd recognize
I thought
it.
so.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's just get into it. So you need to study this legend. Okay. Light blue.
There will be a
indicates
quiz
local
on this,
programming.
apparently.
Red indicates series being burned off and other regularly scheduled programs. Light gold indicates programming produced outside the United States. Bronze indicates reruns of program that originally aired on cable channel or streaming service. So this would be like if they put Star Trek Discovery with less cussing on regular TV. That would be the bronze. Okay. What is new? What is regular, normal? Gray indicates encore programming. Let's just focus on the gray. Okay. And light is current schedule.
Right.
Here we go. Let's look at Sunday night TV. Can you
Looks
see
like it's all
that?
football all the time.
Let me hold on. Let me go ahead and bring it up on my end too. I'm gonna actually. I think I have the. There it is. Let me bring it up so I can look at it on my end, because it's hard to see on that screen. Okay, so we got Sunday night ABC America's Funniest Home Videos. That's still kicking.
Let's pause right there for a second. I would argue that America's Funniest Home Videos, and for the younger among you who might not know, America's Funniest Videos was really the start of what you'd consider reality television. It was non-scripted television that didn't cost much to make. They used submissions from the audience, and I would almost argue that that's where we started the downward trend into a lot of reality television. But that may come up later on.
Well, now we have TikTok for this sort of thing.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Anyway, and then going on to 8 o'clock, we have The Wonderful World of Disney for 3 hours. Now, how on the earth do you have The Wonderful World of Disney on for 3 hours? That's what I want to know. Does anybody watch network television anymore? They can tell me. I don't know.
I can tell you. It depends on. You see, this is where, if this was the old TV guide, I would have to look down and see what movie they were showing on The Wonderful World of Disney, because oftentimes what they would do is a whole movie, and they would not edit it. They would just splice it with the commercials, and that would make it longer.
They're flooding these things with commercials. A 2-hour movie, you can get an hour's worth of commercials out of. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
That was a problem going on even in the aughts in the 2010s, how they kept injecting more commercials between breaks, but it must be nuts now. Then we have The Bachelorette will be on
I
in the
do have
spring.
to say, this is why I said, in quotes, unscripted, although, yes, it actually was scripted. Okay. I know that, but,
Anyway,
but yeah, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Here's your reality television.
Oh, here's a good one. I read an article on The Bachelor. In fact, it was like the Silver Bachelor or something like that.
Okay.
So he picks the winning lady. They get married. On their honeymoon, she goes, "Would you mind sleeping on the couch? I don't want to sleep with you." This is their honeymoon.
Wow, dude, you got to consummate that marriage, or you could actually.
I would argue, even if you're not going to consummate it on the first night of your honeymoon, it's time to maybe start getting used to sleeping in the same bed. At least,
It's like, if you're interested in this guy, why did you agree to marry him, you dummy?
Welcome, writer Albert Lanier. Well, I would also argue, why didn't they figure these things out before the I Do's? The Wonderful World of Disney was a long-time programming block for ABC since the 1950s. I assume it's gone. Yes, it is gone now. I'm sure it went long before they started doing their own Disney Channel on cable and now
But
whatever.
it's here.
Yes, he's saying
Oh,
since
okay,
the
yes.
50s there was a
Yes.
TV block for it, and what they would do is they would block out a section of time on the network, and I'm just saying that some of the movies that they did, they didn't want to edit anything out of them, so they would have a long night with a lot of commercials, so it could take as much as 3 hours.
Yeah. What else do we got? Look at CBS there, though, huh? 60 minutes getting delayed into the 8 o'clock time, I guess, because of football.
The NFL. Yeah.
You have Tracker, which is a.
Wait. I never caught this. So the NFL was being carried on CBS and on Fox.
Yes.
And on NBC.
Yes.
There's football on every channel.
It's possible. Maybe
we'll miss Flipper.
I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I don't know how this works, if it's the same teams or if they do different teams on different channels. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to, we have Tracker, which Tracker is actually a normal hour-long drama, or I guess 40-something minutes with the commercials. It stars the guy who used to play the Green Arrow on Smallville.
Okay.
Okay. We have The Road. This is why I had to bring it up on Safari. What the heck is The Road?
I have no idea.
It's not telling me. Reality competition series. All right, so reality shows and then various programming. Spring 60 Minutes Tracker and Y Marshals.
And Deleted Seas is saying, what the hell is Y Marshals?
Is this that show that was supposed to have Scott Bakula on it, and I guess it wasn't going to have him on it now? Okay.
Enigma caught the reference on we're gonna miss Flipper. He got it.
Moving on to Trivial Pursuit on the CW and the CW Sunday Night Movie, and that's the block. Okay. Go to Fox. You have Fox NFL. The OT. What the heck is the OT?
It was one of those
post-game overtime. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, Universal Basic Guys, Krapopolis, Bob's Burgers, those are their cartoons, and then like Fox, it goes off at 10 and they go to local programming. In the spring, it'll be something called The Faithful. NBC Football Night in America, NBC Sunday Night Football. Okay, I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day, Sunday was a key night of television.
Yep.
They moved the X-Files to Sunday night off of Friday because they were wanting to fight the other networks with their top show. I remember when that happened, and then they gave Millennium the X-Files slot.
Yep.
It used to be so cool on Fridays. You used to have X-Files at 8 for a period, and then Millennium at 9. But, oh well. That perfection wouldn't last forever. But moving on to, let's go forward one Monday night. Let me do that next. Where am I? Hold on. Bear with me, folks.
CBS gets the AFC games. Fox gets the NFC games. NBC gets what's supposed to be the best games of the week for a night game.
All right.
It's consistently the highest ranked show on TV. You're talking to somebody who doesn't give a flying fig about sports ball, so.
Well, it seems like the networks are, because that's all they're showing these days. Okay, let's move on to Monday. Monday, ABC, Monday Night Football, 3-hour block. In the winter, they'll have American Idol back, and I assume that goes on for 2 hours. Yikes. When did these reality shows go on so long? This is something new.
Because they probably don't have anything else to show.
So CBS 8 p.m. is The Neighborhood, which is an American television sitcom, and DMV, which is another workplace comedy, I guess, about the DMV, and FBI, which is American Police Procedural Series, created by Dick Wolf, and Watson, which is basically House. They redid House.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. I've seen a few episodes. It's House. It's medical mysteries, except it's modern. Except it's Dr. Watson this time, and Sherlock is missing or dead. I think it turns out he's not dead. He comes onto the show at some point, and it's modern times. Anyway, what else we got? We got the CW, TV We Love, Penn and Teller Fool Us in mid-fall.
Now, Penn and Teller Fool Us, you can catch clips of that on YouTube, and it's actually not a bad show. I really kind of like it.
I'm not saying all these are bad shows.
We'll watch the whole idea behind Penn and Teller Fool Us is you have magicians go up, do their tricks, and Penn and Teller, either figure out how they do the trick or don't.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that.
And
show,
they try not to overtly explain how the trick is done. They speak in code, and the magician will say, yes, that's how I did it, or nope, I fooled you. But I don't know if this is annoying to Netter, but she takes advantage of it. We'll be sitting here watching it, and Netter will go, how'd they do that trick? And I'll say, probably, and I'll, explain it. And then she'll listen to what Penn says, and she's like, oh, you were right.
We have a secret teleportation device that kills the person entering, but creates a new one on the way out, and that sort of.
I got that reference.
You got that reference. Okay.
I got that.
Scrabble at 9. Is this a joke? Let me click on this.
They turned it into a game show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I've seen snippets of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not commenting on this. Fox celebrity name that tune. Wow. Celebrity weakest link. It's like we're back. Forget about back in the 1970s. We're like back in the 50s.
God, I don't know.
What is
I don't
this?
know. I don't know if Name That Tune is still the way it used to be, but I remember Name That Tune back in the 70s.
Yikes.
And they would give you a hint about what the tune was, and then the two people had to guess what it was. And if the hint in and of itself wasn't enough, you'd want to hear as much of the melody as possible. But they would bid it down. I could name that tune in 10 notes. I can name that tune in 8 notes, whatever.
And if they were very confident, they're like,
I can name that tune in 1 note because they got it from the hint,
Yeah.
So yes. So you got The Voice on Fox, and then on NBC you have St. Denis Medical, which is a mockumentary sitcom. And then you have The Paper, which is by the people that made The Office, which is listed here in brown, which I assume it's a streaming exclusive first, and then it goes there. And then you have The Voice from 9 to 10, and then some show called Brilliant Minds, a medical drama. A lot of medical dramas I'm noticing. This is...
Mark Daly says House was basically a Holmes adaptation too, but they weren't blatant about it. House is Holmes.
Yes.
Obviously. Wilson is Watson. Cuddy is Adler. And the disease of the week is the criminal. Yes, that's absolutely true. Plus, you have the drug addiction of the main character and all of that as well. Of course, he is a savant who is antisocial. There's a lot of great parallels to it, but it wasn't super overt. However, if you are a Holmes fan, starting on Tuesday on my channel, I will be streaming the Jeremy Brett Adventures of Sherlock Holmes every week. That is starting this Tuesday.
The definitive Sherlock Holmes in many respects.
I think so. Yeah, they didn't adapt every single story that was written by Conan Doyle. A handful of them were actually amalgamations of more than one story, but there was a bunch that they didn't get to before Jeremy Brett died.
They get to some weird stories later on in that series, like, wow, Doyle was throwing whatever, he was seeing what stuck at the wall by the end. I'm trying to...
Doyle, yeah, well, I'll talk about this more.
There's a whole thing about him not even wanting to continue on the character.
He didn't want to continue, he wanted to kill off the character. I mean, it's not too dissimilar from writers today, or even TV shows and whatnot, where the audience comes out and gets starts sending death threats and stuff, and we'll
that was really the first fandom was Holmes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But here we go, Tuesday night. You excited? What is he saying here?
I can say this because, for reasons I still don't understand, I hosted a podcast called Outside the NFL for one season in 2024. It was a bad experience, sad to say, in terms of doing the show. Yeah, I've heard some really bad things about the behind the scenes of the whole sports ball thing. So if I wasn't already not a huge fan of sports, I'm really not a fan of the broadcast of sports, I gotta say. It's like, screw it. If you are a fan, get your happy ass down to the park and support your team. Otherwise, get the F off my TV so I can watch, Deep Space Nine or whatever.
Okay.
Or Smallville.
Or Smallville, yeah, exactly.
No, those
those
days
were
are
the
done.
shows that were always getting interrupted. Yes.
Yeah, but those days are gone. We're not getting new Smallvilles. We're getting Star Trek.
We're not
series.
getting any good TV, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, well, here's what it is. I'm not even trying to rag on TV, but I'm wondering who is now currently watching stuff on network television. Because keep in mind, some of these shows that I mentioned, like Watson, they're on the streamers. So, like, when I see Watson on the streamer, I'm thinking, oh, is this a network show or is this a Paramount Plus exclusive? Because I don't know.
I'll even say this. You mentioned House. Netter and I used to watch House when we used to watch network television, and that was years ago.
Yes.
So we're not watching that anymore. What was the other one that we said? Well, Penn and Teller. I said we see clips of it on YouTube. We don't actually watch the show. We watch clips from time to time. I guess Allison Hannigan was the hostess.
Yes, she is. Yes, she was. Yes.
So there you go.
I guess she was like the beautiful assistant type woman, right? Yeah. Anyway, so we have ABC Dancing with the Stars for 2 hours. Then we have High Potential. What the heck is that? That is an American crime drama. Okay, so we have some shows. And now we go to
Holy
CBS.
cow! NCIS is now in Sydney. Actually, NCIS is still going on.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I know this because my mom watches these shows. She has not picked up Origins yet. She's getting all, and I think Origins is a period NCIS show. I don't know if it has a young Gibbs or maybe Gibbs.
I was just gonna say, is this like a prequel with a young Gibbs? Oh my god!
I don't know if that's what it is, so don't quote me on that. There's
NCIS New Orleans.
Yeah, that's gone.
We had watched for a while, then that ended.
NCIS Hawaii, I believe.
And I promised you that I would get you the whatever it is with Donoso and what's her name, because they had a series.
I don't really care, honey.
Okay.
Well, I will say I always get Paramount points, even when they do their exclusive streaming shows. They will put them out on DVD. They're not like Netflix, so they do.
And Netter literally has 10 seasons on NCIS. We just haven't kept up with it.
So we have Will Trent, High Potential, and ABC. Okay, that's later. Okay, NCIS, NCIS Origins, NCIS Sydney. Yes, there is an NCIS Sydney. I've watched a few episodes of it. It is basically, it's an Australian military police procedural, but it has the American NCIS team members, and they have to work with the Australian police department because I guess we have Navy stuff in Australia for Americans, so it's like a joint task force thing. Do you understand? Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's fine. If you like the NCIS style show, it's fine. And you got to see the local.
I wouldn't even broach it unless I heard that Tony Roberts over at Analog Toys was watching it and enjoying it because, I
was suspicious. I was also suspicious that this is a show they also air in Australia as like a local show. Because half the cast is Australian. In fact, I would argue majority of the cast is Australian.
Yeah. So one of the things I was hearing from Tom Conkle is some of the rules about filming in Sydney, and the benefits of it, and some of the staunch rules about it. So yeah, you do have to have mostly Australian.
Yeah, like they're two American leads. Like the version of Gibbs on the show is a woman, and she's on there, and then she has
of course she is.
She's fine.
I'm sure she's fine. It's just it's the world we live in, right? And yeah, though I know now do NFL analysis on sports shows from Tenecula, California every Monday. I would agree with you. There's too much football on TV. It's like on all the damn channels, for crying out loud.
Okay.
I stopped watching The Rookie. Oh, that was the one with Nathan Fillion, right? Because I got tired of Nathan Fillion apologizing for being yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Honestly, there was stuff in. That's why I stopped watching CSI. What was it? The Child Diddler movie TV show.
SVU.
SVU. Yeah. I got tired.
CSI.
No, it's not CSI.
Law and Order.
That one.
Law and Order.
Special, yeah, that's what it
Okay.
was.
Special
Whatever
victim-
the special victims
Special
unit was.
victim unit, SVU.
Yeah, I got tired of that when they started getting super damn woke, and I'm like, screw this, I'm done. I'm
And
just
like
done.
for Rookie, it's like occasionally on I can't remember now, it's Facebook or YouTube, they'll show little snippets of like different episodes, and there's one. It's like, are they like the FBI now? They're no longer just jurisdictional. They're
Yeah.
like everywhere, and they're going undercover with all this other stuff. I was like, that's not the show I used to watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. I'm just I'm getting down to the really vodka-y part of the drink.
Listen to me. Listen to this. Fox, Murder in a Small Town. This is a Canadian crime drama series. It's not even American. They're throwing it on there. Look at that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's bad, but it's not even like an American production. Doc is an American another medical show, and I would argue Watson's also a medical show, even though it's more medical mysteries. We have The Voice, NBC, on brand with Jimmy Fallon. Just shoot me now. No, I'm just.
So
I'm just done with
again,
this.
I want to underscore the reason you're seeing so much of shows like
reality shows,
The Voice
live
and reality shows.
yes.
It's because they cost so much less to do. They don't require a lot of sets, props, editing. It's just
Top off your glasses.
in a lot of ways, it's not too different from what we do here. But let's face it, I'm not a professional, studio. You expect more from professional studios, but whatever.
Are we at the intermission side yet?
You know what? We probably should be if you feel like this is a good breaking point. And my my promos are very, very short. They're less than 2 minutes.
Right.
Just to let you know.
Yeah. Go ahead, run them, and then we'll try to plow through these. I got articles to get to. Yeah.
Get through the other side. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Be right back in less than 2 minutes. Right.
You are watching Last Call, streaming every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Come on in, pull up a chair, and have a drink with us.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Riggs and Murtaugh are on the trail of South African diplomats who are using their immunity to engage in criminal activities. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover are joined by Joe Pesci and the lovely Patsy Kensit in the buddy cop sequel Lethal Weapon 2. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
This week on Last Call Presents, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the King of Bohemia, asks Holmes to retrieve a compromising photograph from actress and singer Irene Adler, who proves to be a worthy opponent. It's A Scandal in Bohemia, this Tuesday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Last Call Presents.
Did you top off your glasses? We now return to Last Call.
I topped
Are
off.
we back?
Yes, Netter did top off my glass, and I gotta say, I gotta pat myself on the back a little bit. I am very proud of that Adventures of Sherlock Holmes promo. That I think turned out really, really well.
I like the music a lot.
The music, believe it or not, because I was concerned, I didn't want to use the music from the show, but I got something that was so close. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just perfect. Anyway, is everything okay on your side, Boomer? You sounded like you were a little freaked out on your end.
No, here's why I'm freaking out. Wednesday ABC for the winter schedule, and maybe they're just bringing it back. Maybe it's like Scrubs: The Next Generation. Please tell me they're not showing repeats of the original Scrubs series.
No. We reported on this on Geeky.
Oh, I
Geeks
see. Okay, it is
that they were
back.
doing a reboot. I haven't
Okay.
watched a damn episode of it, but we did talk about it.
Well, no, it was a popular show back in the day, and
I actually had it I don't know if we still have it on DVD. I had it for a while on DVD.
Right. Shifting Gears, Abbott Elementary. I've heard of that one. Golden Bachelor. What is the Golden Bachelor? Is that like ABC's version of the Bachelor?
I'm sure it's got to be
the Golden
something like
Bachelor
that.
is older people. That's the one I said that
Are you kidding me?
The guy just got married and his wife told him to sleep on the couch because she didn't want to sleep with him.
Dude, was it like some dude with liver spots and everything and just,
No, the picture they showed, the guy was really attractive. He had silver hair. He actually looked younger than you would expect. And it's like, yeah, she told him to sleep on the couch because she didn't want to sleep with him. And it's like,
I'm just going to say, if you're one of these young girls, marrying an older guy for his money, there's a reason he's marrying you too. Just saying. Just. You could prove your prowess by giving him reason to move on. Let's say.
Okay, so from 10 to 11, you have Shark Tank, where Simu Liu will yell at you about your bubble tea ID.
Oh, for crying out loud! And some of the stuff that I've seen clips of that. Some of the things. There was a guy that tried to peddle a Ponzi scheme. I'm like, are you high?
Love it.
What the hell?
That might make this match. That might be must-see TV now that you mentioned. Okay, CBS Hollywood Squares. Wow, that's back. The Price is Right at night. Wow. So there's a.
I don't want to watch Hollywood Squares unless Paul Lynn is on it.
Who would be a good substitute? Did Howie Mandel show up on Hollywood Squares, or no? He was a host somewhere. I think he was. Maybe he was Price is Right.
No. Well, he might have been.
Oh, he's Let's Make a Deal. Was he Let's Make a Deal?
No.
No.
Howie Mandel is the one with the suitcases.
Howie Mandel was one of the
something.
4. If you'd let me say it, I'll tell you the answer. He was the America's Got Talent with the British guy and the 2 girls.
Yeah, but wasn't he also doing a game show at one point?
It's the one with all the suitcases. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever.
Is that
all right?
No, it wasn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it's.
Oh no! That's the one with the British woman.
Hold on.
I remember Regis Philbin on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
What game show is Howie Mandel on?
I know about 26 Howie Mandel game shows, including American Idol, Sesame Street, The Voice, America's Got Talent, and 22 more.
Okay. We're not going to have a read off all. Let's just move on because we'll be here in 2 hours.
I will Google it.
Deal or no deal? Joe's atmosphere.
That was the one. Deal or no deal. Thank you. Okay.
Lester came in right after. Oh, no. Nate had it first.
Harlan Coben's Final Twist. I don't know what that is. That sounds interesting. He's a writer.
I'll tell you what. I don't need a freaking Echo Dot. I got the chat, for F's sake. They're far more reliable.
You'll love this. CW. Law and Order Toronto, Criminal Intent. You thought the American show was woke.
I really don't want to see any law shows set in Canada, let me tell you. And my heart goes out to you if you are on the other side of the maple curtain. Let me just say that.
Okay, Fox's The Floor. American Game Show.
Is that a sequel to The Floor and the Ceiling, or to The Wall and the Ceiling?
Probably, yes.
Just
okay.
wondering. Yeah.
Another game show.
Chicago Med? They're still doing Chicago Med?
Chicago
Med, Fire?
And Chicago PD. That's a Chicago night on NBC.
Oh, shit.
But half the people that were on
Nobody
Chicago
that we
Med,
know, yeah.
Half the people that were on Chicago, Chicago Med and Chicago Fire aren't the same ones anymore. Like Casey's not there anymore. Apparently he moved on. Because
I'm sure.
I Googled to see what was going on with it because I hadn't seen it in forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one, Dr. Manning, she got fired because she was slipping her mother medication that she stole. That was for some one of those trial things. They found out that she stole it and fired her.
Admiralty, Law and Order Toronto, Communist Internet Commissioners, Commissars. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
Okay. So now we have Thursday. Now, we remembered back in the day, Thursday was the biggest night on television. So supposedly this should be the biggest night we have here, correct?
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
911 on ABC. That is a procedural drama. 911 Nashville, another procedural drama, and Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy's still on. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. The Great Christmas Light.
Various programming. I've been looking forward to that one.
I don't know what that is. Okay, so it looks like it's a lot of 9. CBS George and Mandy's First Marriage.
Yep.
It's not Mandy Moore, is it? Okay.
I have no idea. Ghosts?
Ghosts is...
I've heard about this. I've actually heard that's pretty
This is
good.
an adaptation of the British show for American television. You know, like you used to complain that they adapt the British shows for American TV? That's what this is.
Well, I'll seek out the British show then.
Then Matlock with...
Matlock?
They did a gender swap.
Oh, screw it. Okay.
Kathy Bates. Unless Kathy Bates is like playing his niece or something.
Yeah, I don't care. Move on.
Okay.
And
no,
what's
it's related.
Elsbeth? What's Elsbeth?
Well, I'm excited for Elsbeth. It has to be good. Let's see. What is Elsbeth?
It's another woman-centric show. So
Elsbeth, American police procedural comedy drama television series that premiered on 2024. It's a spinoff of The Good Wife and The Good Fight. Originally, the role of Elsbeth Tassioni, an unconventional attorney who ends up working as a de facto detective. So, I guess Carrie Preston originated the role. Yeah. So I guess it's related to the Good Wife show. All right. So there you go. There's some life in Thursday yet, huh? You feeling some hope here for network television?
No, I am absolutely not interested in a gender swapped Matlock. No.
All right. Anyway, let's see here. CW Police 24/7. That sounds like Cops.
Yep.
Okay, that's docu.
Hell's Kitchen. Is that the
Dave Ramsey?
What's his name? It's not David Ramsey. It's
no, that's the other Ramsey. Sorry.
What's his name?
Chef Ramsey. What's his first name?
Yeah, what's his name?
Gordon
Ramsay. Okay. You think
used
they're
to
related?
be a footballer, right?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think he was. I think he used to be a footballer before he got into culinary.
Makes sense. Yeah, maybe it was something he tried out. Okay, Special Forces, World's Toughest Test.
He sounds like a really good chef, but keep him the hell away from Italian food. Just no.
Well, no, he was complimenting this one British chef whose restaurant he fixed, and he was doing Italian food. It looked good. It looked like normal Italian food. The rustic.
No, I've seen him give instruction on preparing pasta, and no, just no.
All right. NBC, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Law and Order Organized Crime. Look at that, Law and Order night on NBC. So that's all it is on Thursday. So I'm coming to the conclusion that the people who are still watching this are either people that watch reality television, or frankly, maybe older folks that haven't caught on to the streaming side of things yet. Because I'm seeing a lot of old people shows. I don't mean to say like NCIS is an old person show. I've watched it. I know it does skew that way though, right?
I guess if you by old people show you mean actually good television, then yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, meaning I noticed for a while.
I am not liking even the descriptions of the crap you're reading here. So
okay, I just would notice on NCS for a while would be like, oh, McGeek, he likes computers and he's good at computer stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is like standard now. It's like everyone has to know this stuff. It's not like the hacker guy anymore.
It was actually starting to get to that point.
I think now they're probably up to date. I'm sure
because it was really starting to get to where the rest of the crew. Besides Donoso and Gibbs, were like, you might want to get with the times. He's not even an outlier here anymore, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Donoso was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the episode where they had to get into a special event, and since McGee was a writer, he says, you can get in there as a famous writer, get into this bar. And he goes in, and then Donoso says, look at all the attentions he's getting. I ought to write a book. And then Gibbs says, you might want to read one first.
Might want to read one first. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so moving on to Friday, and Friday's going to be dead. I can already tell, and this is not looking good.
Friday was always the night that they put TV shows to die.
They put Smallville on Friday to Die, and it still got great ratings. I loved it. I loved that. Like, oh no, they're putting Smallville on Friday. It's going to
So
cancel before it's. CW was so angry when they got this season. That, okay, one more season. That's it. 10 seasons. We never expected the show to last this long.
So two comments I want to bring up that are not, in my opinion, mutually exclusive. NCIS is the last cop show standing, so it scooped up all the fans of all the dead cop shows. And then Admiral Teague says NCIS kind of sucks. Honestly, I don't know what it's like now. It probably does, especially
it has
since
Gary.
Ducky died and Gibbs left and DiNozzo left and...
well, McGee is still on it, and they have Gary Cole as that. I always liked Gary Cole as an actor, so I don't mind him being on
Gary
there.
Cole?
Remember Babylon 5, Crusade? He was the captain on that. He was Lucas Buck on American Gothic. He's a good actor, and I think he's a good choice for like a lead if you can't get Mark Harmon back. But I've not seen.
But I have no doubt it probably has gone downhill in the modern era. If you're going to depict cops, you got to make them the villains and stupid. And I'm getting sick. This is why I don't watch television anymore.
So let's see: Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Celebrity Jeopardy on ABC, and then 2020 for 2 hours. Are you joking? 2 hours of 2020. You looking forward to that? Also on NBC, you have 2 hours of Dateline at the same time.
Well, considering I do not pay attention to mainstream media anymore,
Those news
because all they do is
shows?
lie. You know, it's as much fiction as NCIS, so screw that.
CBS is actually trying hard. They got Sheriff County, Fire County, Boston Blue. I expect that Boston Blue is probably a spinoff from Blue Bloods. Yeah.
So this is a great
Which
comment.
I actually heard is a good cop show, unlike some of these others. Yeah.
I actually know an NCIS agent. I absolutely hate the show because none of them are accurate to what NCIS really do, and he especially hates NCIS LA. I gotta tell you,
on Friday on here. Sorry.
I gotta tell you, I've got friends that do the exact same thing with all the cop shows, all the legal shows. It's like, no. The one exception, Chicago Fire. I was told by a buddy who was a lifetime fireman. He's like, maybe not the calls that they go on are not really realistic, but what happens in the firehouse, absolutely spot on. I'm like, okay.
You know, I hate to say this. I actually think CW doesn't have a bad selection considering it's the Penn and Teller show and another show about magicians.
Masters of Illusion.
That might actually be interesting.
I've seen clips of, but see, again, both of these shows I can see clips of on YouTube without having to watch them on network television. So
okay, so let's move on to Saturday. Let's nip this in the bud. All right, let's as what was it? Was it Barney Fife that used to say that? All right.
Great. Look, it's all football all the time. Fuck all this shit.
You know, it's no, you got hockey. You got hockey in the spring.
Oh, we got hockey ball too. That's awesome.
What the heck is Crime Time Saturday? It's official branding for a program.
Be a criminal.
Yeah. They have criminals compete for the worst crimes, probably.
No, it should be the Running Man. CBS Sports Programming, CW Saturday Night Movie. Movie of the week. Baseball Night in America, The Walls on NBC, American Television Game Show, Dateline, another Dateline show because you can't get enough Dateline, and Saturday Night Live is on at 10 p.m. Why is Saturday Night Live on at 10 p.m.? Wasn't that always like a midnight show?
Doesn't matter what time they put it on. Nobody's going to watch the damn show.
Okay. Well, that's it. This is the state of network television in the year 2025. What do you think?
It sucks. This is why I don't watch TV anymore.
But it's just, I mean, you were watching TV in the 70s, and I imagine that the schedule is more robust than what we've seen here.
So,
because there's some similarities, because, I mean, if you think about it, the variety shows, those were like live shows, right? So, yeah.
The variety shows, there weren't a lot of them on a regular weekly basis. They were oftentimes generally like specials. But there were regular ongoing variety shows from time to time. The Donnie and Marie show, Sonny and Cher, the Brady's. had a variety show for a period of time. But I think probably the best was when Dolly Parton had her show. That one was absolutely the best. But those were not as ubiquitous as we had a lot more sitcoms back in the 70s. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. I remember watching Three's Company and laughing so hard I was in tears. Sometimes that show was just so funny. I really, really did enjoy that show. But real quick, I want to say hi to Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Happy Friday. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. You missed all our commentary about all the sports ball all the time on network television. I'm not a big fan. Just saying.
I don't mind it, but it's like half of the TV right now.
We did not talk
reality
about
shows and
cable.
sports
We were just talking about network television, Jesse.
Well,
thus far anymore.
Well, we're gonna
Yes,
get into
Carol
smart-
Burnett. Actually, you're absolutely right, Nate. Really the best variety show. And it was barely a variety show. It was more of a sketch show. But the Carol Burnett show was the funniest. It absolutely was. And there's clips of it you can find on YouTube now. And let me tell you, I laugh. Some of the standouts are the Gone with the Wind parody, the Harvey Korman and Tim Conway, the dentist sketch, and what was the untelevised version of the elephant sketch from Mama's Family. That one is just hysterical. I laugh. I to this day I can watch it over and over again. I laugh so hard. Dick Van Dyke was a guest on that one, and everyone. So you got Tim Conway telling a story about an elephant in the circus, and he's literally making it up as he goes along. It's complete improv. And you have sitting on the couch, you have Carol Burnett, Vicki Lawrence playing Mama. I'm forgetting what was it? Was Harvey Korman in that sketch? I can't remember. And then sitting like on the arm of the couch was Dick Van Dyke. And they're just listening to Tim Conway just prattle on. And just when you think he's done, he starts up again. And everyone is trying not to laugh because they're not supposed to be laughing. But he's cracking them all up. And when finally, after everybody's in tears laughing, there's a lull. And Carol Burnett starts to go on with the next line, and Vicki Lawrence says, "Are you sure the little asshole's done?" And everyone bursts into laughter, and Dick Van Dyke falls on the floor laughing so hard. It's just, you can find it. Look up the elephant sketch, Carol Burnett show. You'll find it. It's absolutely worth it. This was when TV was funny, let me tell you. Anyway.
All right, let's move on to the first article.
They did talk about the two elephants that were connected and they couldn't do the they can only go snork.
Snorkel.
You're talking about cable now, Jesse. I was just talking about the networks.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to anything about cable. Yeah,
but I'm sure Adult Swim is in tatters right now too, because that used to be a block. Why TV sucks now? I do that. See that.
So now we've talked about network television. Network television kind of sucks. So people have started going to streaming pretty much ever since 2019, really. And unfortunately, as I said in my opening monologue, what you end up with is, instead of being able to watch a show like, I don't know, maybe you'd watch Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, whatever. Right. You'd go to school, you'd talk with your friends about it. Yeah, did you see? Yeah, that was funny. Remember when he said this and the Fonz did that, and blah, blah, blah. You'd pretend to be the Fonz, and there was role playing we did in grade school and stuff like that. None of that happens now. There is no must see TV now where you watch an episode of a TV show that everybody's like. We've been rewatching Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks was absolute must-see TV, and then people would get together and talk about Twin Peaks, and they would say, well, what do you think this meant, and who do you think the killer was, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. They called it water cooler talk, you know? Now, all the must-see TV shows are on streaming channels, and you can't afford to stream all of these different channels. You can't have Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, you know,
Peacock.
Minus Plus, XYZ Plus. You can't have them all. You can't afford it. You can't go a la carte like this. You might have one or two, and you only watch one or two shows on those channels. And then if you do watch it, only a tenth of your friends have it as well, and they may be waiting until they all release and will binge watch it or whatever, so you can't get together and talk with them about it. This is why you have so many YouTubers right now doing watch parties of it, so you have a group of people watching it together to discuss it.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Because the communal thing is no longer there.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is from medium.com. I figured I'd go over this because I think it's a good overview of what happened, where we are in this. Frankly, we're more than halfway through the 2020s now. We're 2025. Yeah. Got to just get to that 2030 to see where we'll end up next. But as 2024 brings a new wave of canceled shows and exciting prospects, fans are over it. Yikes. Since the strikes in Hollywood, productions have slowed and cancellations piled up. Production companies first blamed COVID for the late releases and now blame the strikes, but these excuses can only go so far. It used to be that TV shows had about 22 episodes a season, and the following season would premiere within 7 to 8 months of the season finale. Yes! Like you'd watch like Picard being abducted by the Borg, and then like if you have to wait a few months, and then oh look, now we get to find out what happened next. We don't get that anymore.
And you would be following the trade magazines to find out, you know, if Patrick Stewart renewed his contract, because that you knew was a big part of why that story was happening in the first place.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that? The way they wrote Best of Both Worlds. Remember, they brought in Commander Shelby, who was butting heads with
Commander Riker,
because she was a young go-getter, and he used to be that. And now he'd become complacent, and she gave him crap about it. And she was getting ready to pass him up for command. And there was a little bit of competition there. But then the Borg strike, they kidnap Picard, and then they have to work together. He takes command, she becomes his first officer, and they find out that Picard has been turned into a mouthpiece for the Borg. And when they end the first part, the season cliffhanger, they were getting ready to ram the ship.
Yes.
They were going to destroy the ship. And, well, that was their backup plan. They had a weapon they were going to fire, and if that didn't work, they were going to ram the ship. So, so he's ready to fire, and that's where they end it. He was literally going to, if it worked, he would have blown up the Borg ship and killed Picard. And part of the reason they went with that was they were waiting to see if Patrick Stewart renewed. If he renewed, they would go one way and they'd get Picard back. Shelby would go on to get her own command, and things would continue. If not, they were going to continue without Picard, and Riker was going to become the new captain of the ship. Shelby was going to become his first officer.
Yes. Okay. Well, that makes sense now. But it's kind of weird that was probably an accident, and in many respects, I'll be blunt. I think it was TNG that created the big season finale cliffhanger. I could be wrong, but I don't know if there was other shows that did it before then. So it was interesting that they did it there, and
To do a season ending cliffhanger, I can't
yes,
think of any.
I think it was TNG that pioneered that. I could be wrong.
There was a
but,
lot of shows in the 70s that would do two-parters.
They would do two-parters, but not at the end of the season, like continuing
Right, they
one or
would
the other.
usually be
Yes.
in the middle of the season,
So I
and it
think
would
it was
be a cliffhanger
TNG.
for the week.
I think it was
Yeah.
TNG that pioneered that, and
I think you might
even
be right
Friends
about
would
that.
do cliffhangers. Like remember when Ross was getting was getting married to that whatever her name was, and then he said, "I Ross to take the Rachel" instead of saying his fiance's name.
His
And that
fiance's
was
name was Emily.
Emily.
yes,
Right, Emily.
that was funny. Anyway,
Admiral Teague says, now I kind of regret that they rescued Picard. Yeah, I especially with what's happened more recently. Me and my monkey, welcome. Another new member today. Morning or night, I'm here for you. Well, I am so glad you are, my friend. Live long and prosper. Good to see you, my friend.
anyway, so let me get back to the article. Now it's more common for a full season.
Actually, no, you know what? Admiral Teague is right. Dallas did it before Next Gen did. Dallas had cliffhanger endings before,
Well,
yeah. Remember, yeah, with JR in 79. Who shot JR?
Hey,
That's right.
maybe this was another scenario where the actor was thinking about leaving.
That's entirely possible. I don't know the details behind that.
Okay, so anyway, now it is more common for a full season to include 6 to 8 episodes and must be released before it gets canceled or renewed. Fans are mad because shows are shorter, less episodes, there should be fewer episodes, have longer times between season releases. Some are averaging 3 years between seasons. Yes, this is a problem I've noticed, and I noticed it with the 2020s. The first time I noticed it was with Game of Thrones when they did their part 1. And then they were going to do their part 2 of the final season, and it was a 2-year wait. And I'm like, really, guys? You're splitting the season, but you're also taking an extra year. And then it came out, and everybody was mad.
I did feel like they were trying to wait on the author to get some writing done.
Nope.
And it was like, we can't. We just got to get it done. And then,
oh wow,
I think there was a lot going on behind the scenes. They wanted to move on so they could do some Star Wars crap or whatever. But I think at the same time they were like, look, if the creator isn't going to take this seriously, why should we? Let's just finish this up and get the hell out of here, you know?
So fans are mad because shows are shorter. Episodes are either full movies running in an hour long or barely hitting 30 minutes with only 8 episodes. This is a problem. Yeah, like you have some episodes.
Wait a minute, Mark Daly. What are you talking about? Next Gen wasn't a cable show. Next Gen
syndicated.
was
syndicated.
Yeah, it was
series.
syndicated. It was UPN. Yeah.
Well, before even UPN, you would just find it on whatever network wanted to show.
Yeah,
it.
whatever your affiliate of yours locally was carrying it. It was syndicated. It wasn't cable.
Yeah. So anyway, 8 episodes for the whole season. The Bear, I'm looking at you. How in the hell did we get here? 2007 changed TV, so we're going to go back in time. In 2007, the Writers Guild of America went on strike. A lot of shows like The Office, Grey's Anatomy, and 30 Rock were forced to air less episodes than they originally planned because they didn't have the writers there to finish the shows. I remember the strike. I think it did a lot of damage to the show Heroes, which I was trying to stick with, and it forced them to shorten that season, and then the writing went off kilter in the third season really bad. Still, all 3 were able to recover just fine once the writers returned. Well, Bionic Woman didn't recover from that strike.
That's for damn sure.
It was a big lesson in quality over quantity. Great shows were largely unaffected by the loss of episodes because they were great to begin with. They could handle the loss. In the same year, Netflix began offering online streaming instead of just offering disc delivery service. While this isn't the same level of service we know and tolerate today, it opened the door for the next decade of big television changes. This is interesting. Did Netflix premiere their streaming at the same time as the writer's strike? Think about this. Oh, there's nothing new on TV, but look at that. They have all the episodes of The Sopranos, all the episodes of The X-Files, all these other shows that I might have missed out on or I might want to revisit now, and now they're all on this thing called Netflix. And people just started watching Netflix because the stupid strike happened. Just 5 years later, Netflix would release their first original series, Lilyhammer. In 2013, we would see a release of big hits like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. Streaming wasn't just a service for watching media. They became media production companies too. And what does all this have to do with shorter shows? The author writes. Okay, streaming offers a totally way of creating television. Here are a few of the big changes streaming offered. Networks had to take summer and winter breaks for streaming. Doesn't have to. More time for shows and production. Writers could work on more than one show in a year. Which, if you know the business, you know they have to jump and find as many shows as they can in order to pay the bills. Network television also has strict laws on how and when things can be aired. There are a lot of regulation and red tape for the content release. This is true. There's only so much you can do on network TV.
True.
It was interesting how shows like the X-Files and Millennium would they'd really try to do this mature content, but they had to be careful about what they could put on the show. Right. Episodes don't have to release one at a time over a few months. The whole season can drop at once. This has had some major effects in marketing strategies because buzz only lasts a few weeks at most. Shows will release and people will binge them all at once over a few days, which will generate a huge response online. Only if it's really good, very bad, or at a huge marketing push for release, which will either push the show into a second wake of binging viewers or the end of main watching period. Think about it. The buzz gets lost.
True.
It's really big, but then it burns out. No ad breaks, sort of. Now streaming platforms are starting to push for ad-orientated version of their subscriptions because they make more money. But for the last decade or so, shows didn't have to write for ad breaks. Bigger dedicated budgets. Netflix shows like Stranger Things hit $30 million per episode.
Wait! I want to comment on what you just said.
Yes.
I want people to think about this for a second. Think back to a show like Star Trek: The Next Generation. They did a great job of writing the show in such a way that it came down. It was like chapters.
Yes.
You know, you'd have your prologue, then you'd go into the main part of the show. You get your first chapter, and a little bit like a minor, well, actually, right after the prologue, you'd get the opening credits.
A lot of shows followed that format.
Did they go into a commercial then, and then they'd come back for like they'd give you the name of the episode, and you get like the chapter 1, and there'd always be at the end of that chapter there'd be like a little hook
to keep you
get
watching.
you through the commercial, and then you go into
like
chapter
the little girl's
2.
imaginary friend is actually real that she's talking about, right?
Exactly. And then you go into your commercial, you come back, you get the the build up to a big denouement, and then you have another credit, then you have the resolution and epilogue, and they end the show. They had to write it in that kind of those kinds of beats.
Many shows followed that, yeah. X-Files
Now, what
followed
you're
it.
saying is you just have a slow build up to a denouement, and then either a cliffhanger or an ending, depending on what manner of show you're watching. And I want to say hi to Wilkie's Movies and Music. Missed you this afternoon, my friend. I hope everything is okay with you. I would have forwarded to you had I seen that you had a show this afternoon. But hope you're doing well.
So writer strike, COVID. But I can still say that on YouTube. And economic fall. For the industry changing strike in 22, the pandemic, as I used to say, hit us in 2020. This halted all productions for months and forced the industry to get really creative in how they would come back to creating content. Lots of new release dates were pushed because no one could film safely. It took maybe a whole year and a half before production really started moving again. Then came the Hollywood strikes. So, yes, television has always been considered the writer's medium because it puts the most emphasis on writers than any other medium, film, theater, etc. However, a lot of people working television shows relied on residuals, especially the writers. With streaming, writers weren't getting paid for views on their shows. They were just getting paid to write them.
We definitely talked about this. Every time the medium changes, the laws don't seem to apply, and they have to go through all the same bull crap that the previous generation did to get their rights. But actually, Jesse brings up a good point here, saying this is why TV was better than streaming, because back then the TV companies got the rating every week for their show, when a streaming service company will find out in a year if it's a hit. Now, so a lot of we've talked about this on Geeky Geezers. A lot of the bigger channels talk about this on a regular basis. You get a lot of this from Valiant Renegade and Culture Casino, but that's absolutely true. This is also why it was very merit based. If you did not write a show that people liked, it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? Because the advertisers did not want to advertise with you because your ratings were low. Whereas if you look over at cable, or not cable, at streaming,
which is sort of
you
like
have
paid
no
cable.
idea how good the show is. So you're just paying to advertise on anything and everything that streaming channel does. You don't know if you're getting any eyes on your products or not. And so that does not incentivize good writing. So you could be making crap full of your DEI messaging and not worrying about whether people like it or not, and keep raking in the advertising down.
I want to make another point. If you're a professional writer and you're not getting paid, you're not going to want to work under these conditions. If you're an amateur writer starting out and you haven't gotten your feet wet, you'll take whatever you can get. And if you're an activist, you can use it. Well, it's not about the money. It's about pushing the activism in the writing.
I love that Connie Cleary gave me $2 literally just to give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Connie. I super, super appreciate that. Yes, the plandemic. Exactly right, Nate. Oh, imagine that. Merit-based TV shows. Wow, what a concept. Well, and here's the thing, too, and this is another thing we've talked about, going back to what we were talking about as far as advertising on these streaming shows. You're starting to get these advertisers going, no, wait a minute. We want to know if we're actually getting our money's worth. We want some sort of a rating on your show. We want to know how many eyes we're getting on our products because of your shows. And they're starting to get worried because they're starting to go, oh, you mean we actually have to make good shows people want to watch? We just can't keep putting out shit that nobody's watching and telling you people are watching it.
So, yeah. And so that was one of the big reasons was the writer run on strike in 2022 because of the pay cuts following the close behind the writers, where the actors also went on strike for similar reasons. Didn't the writers reach a deal, or was it it was the Directors Guild? That's right. They're the ones that reached the deal.
And here's the other thing about that. So on the flip side from the advertisers, the writers are going, look, every time somebody streams the show, I want a cut of it. So that means now we need some sort of a verifiable system to know with transparency when people are streaming your show. Because the fact is, if it releases at midnight on Wednesday night, not everyone's watching it at midnight on Wednesday night. They could be watching it throughout the month. You have no idea until they actually watch it. So we gotta start accounting for actual streams of the show.
Behind the scenes, they're thinking we can have the AI write the shows for us. Some executive somewhere.
Because they've been so bad, AI probably could, and we wouldn't notice the damn difference. I've seen some videos of AI, and I'm like, this is terrible, but it's no worse than the shit that real humans are writing.
So let's see. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this article, but will TV get better? Honestly, I think so. He's more hopeful at the end. Abbott Elementary is a great example of TV finding its footing again with streaming network space. Okay, you like Abbott.
Well, and it goes to what I was just saying. I think there's a lot of pressure that they're going to have to start getting better or they're going to go out of business.
So let's go to the next article, if you don't mind, speed me wrong. They kind of tricked everybody. The real reason streaming shows are canceled so early explained by TV writer.
So Culture did talked about this a while ago. I think WDW Pro did as well. But let's go ahead and get into this.
So a veteran television writer provides rare insight into the real reason why so many streaming shows are getting canceled after just 3 seasons. For a few years, Netflix was the most frequently cited example of a streaming platform that would cancel series after a brief run. But in recent months, competitors like Disney, HBO, and Apple have proved just as capable of canceling and removing originals in bulk. This typical reason cite complicated tax write-offs and the general but unspecified sense that a new comedy or drama has not performed up to expectations. As part of a detailed Vulture feature on the issues facing streamer platforms in the future, The Good Place creator Mike Schur offers a blunt assessment of why many streaming shows get quickly canceled. If a TV series was a success under the old way of doing business pre-streaming, the creator earned money from advertising, syndication, and selling the rights internationally. With streaming just now introducing ad tiers, showrunners were instead offered a system where they would receive bonuses for each subsequent season. Those bonuses aren't always paid out because most shows only last for 1 or 2 seasons. Read the details below.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah, under the old TV model, Chris quote: "If a show was a success, creators stood to get rich on back-end profits. With all of linear TV revenue streams combined, ad plus syndication plus overseas rights, a studio might bring in $3 for every $1 in costs on a hit. The problem for right." Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of a sentence. I thought you were done there.
No, it's all right. I'm almost done. The problem for writers was that most shows flopped and there was no back end to get a piece of it. Streamers offered something different. Their model, cost plus, might pay $1.30 to $1.50 up front, making every show a winner, just not a very big one.
See, and this is the problem, because now we're talking about if a writer is not feeling valued and not getting paid, if he's not making the money that he's expecting to make, he's going to leave. He's going to quit. And you lose all your talent, and you start getting a bunch of hacks, that don't have that level of talent.
Listen to this, though. To make up for the lost back end, streamers floated performance-based incentives. Sure describes a scenario in which a platform might promise a showrunner $100,000 bonus for season 1, $250,000 for season 2, $500,000 for season 3, and $1.7 million for season 4. So you're like, holy crap, this is great, he says. But there was a catch. Many seemingly successful series began to vanish after just a couple seasons. What no one saw coming was they just killed the show before they ever had to pay the money out, Sure says. They kind of tricked everybody. Oh, look at Perry Mason there.
Yep.
Perry Mason
Perry
was
Mason?
the guy to the left.
Yeah, well, I figured I figured it wasn't the blue-skinned chick in the middle.
Okay, well, I don't know. These days, you can never tell. Anyway, no, they did a
true.
Perry Mason show on HBO, and maybe it was a streaming exclusive, and it came out, and then it took them like 2 or 3 years to get season 2. I'm like, guys, This
was something that Netter pointed out to me before I even realized it. She'd be like, "Is that show still on?" And I'd be like, "Oh, yeah." And she's like, "You know what? I'm not interested anymore. I forgot what happened last season. It's been so long. And I'm not going to go back and rewatch the whole show again just to get caught up before the next season."
I mean, we used to joke about when Doctor Who was canceled. I'm like, did that show get canceled? We didn't know until like a year later because the BBC had the news traveled slow back in those days. And here we are. It's like I didn't realize Perry Mason got canceled, and now I'm thinking it's because of this. They're pointing out that it's this back end nonsense. So maybe it was doing okay ratings, and they still got rid of it.
They don't care about the ratings at this point. They just want to get a show on, get buzz about it, get people to subscribe, and then they cancel the show and move on to something else. Jesse Guajardo says, Troy, with cable, there was a pressure for Star Trek fans to keep up with the show, but with streaming, there was no pressure to watch it. And when you have time, which is why it takes a year for streaming. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's being treated not as must-see TV, not any earnestness to watch it so you can talk about it with your friends. It's, let me put this in my to-watch later. This happens to me, unfortunately, with YouTube videos, too. I'll go through my feed and I'll go, watch later, watch later, watch later. In fairness, most of that is because I'm saving it for when Netter and I get together and we can watch these shows together. I've got a Gray Still Plays ready to go for later that we can watch together. But when it comes right down to it, that's the upside. This has been true ever since we got VCRs and we could record, and then later DVRs, where you could record a show and watch it at your leisure. But that also disassociates you from any kind of quantifiability of your viewership. And, I haven't watched it. I don't want any spoilers, when everybody else is talking about it. So that's a bit of a problem. And then Nate says they are going to have to actively look at the shows they're putting out and cutting out the activists do not make money, and they're not looking to. Well, this is what I'm saying. As long as they can get away with not caring because they don't have to worry about ratings, they can do whatever they want. But yes, as there starts to be some kind of accountability, you're right. They are going to have to start doing that. I want to say hi to the Horror King. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. And you guys are saying hi to each other. Me and my monkey says the execs have no idea what the consumer wants, like a politician. Yeah, and it's not like they couldn't easily find out just by friggin' listening. We're literally screaming it at them. But instead, they just hear it and they go, oh, you're all just a bunch of istaphobes and we hate you. And, you know, we're going to purposely give you what you don't want. Troy, this is why I watch anime in the show. Next season takes too long to come out. Then I'll just read a manga. Yeah, that's fair. Ridiculous. Have any of you ever seen a movie called Oddity? It's a horror movie based in County Cork, Ireland, and it came out last year on Shudder and DVD. No, I hadn't. I think you mentioned that on a previous stream. I'm going to have to look into that. Yes. We haven't even gotten to that, but yes, Admiral Teague is right. Everything that's come out from what is it? Secret Hideout has been just. It's not even really Trek. Let's face it, it's Trek in name only.
We'll have a Star Trek news update on Sunday, though.
Yep. Boomer, back in the day of Doctor Who's Long Winter, the show was never officially canceled, just put on hiatus.
BBC's full of shit. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
that.
You're right, but the BBC was a whole different animal.
They canceled it.
They never had to worry about ratings. They never had to worry about investors because they were taking tax dollars. That's the problem with public television.
No, it
Perry
got
Mason
canceled.
was canceled in April of 2023 after season 2. Yeah, that's kind of what he was talking about there.
I didn't even realize. I'm like, when is that coming back? And because I was waiting, I was saying they originally were going to have Robert Downey Jr. star in it, but he was too busy. But I do like this actor they got to play him. He was on The Americans, which was a great show. There you go. You got all. Yeah.
I'm telling you, what's going to happen now is because AI and these AI video making outlets are becoming so popular, you're going to have fans starting to make their own fan films to continue shows that get canceled by these morons. And they're not going to be able to stop it. The only way to combat it will be to continue the shows that people want to see. If you don't give people what they want, they'll make it themselves, and F you. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Oh, interesting. Jessica Hardo has an interesting comment.
I miss the older TV show writing. You can learn a true life lesson, science lesson, history fact, or a good fact about.
Do you know why that is? Because the writers used to read back in the day. Okay, They used to be experts on things,
and they sometimes would bring in experts that knew what they were writing about.
I was reading the Bond novels, and I'm learning about bird guano on an island in Jamaica and why it was valuable.
What's interesting about the original 007 stories written by Ian Fleming, he was literally writing about himself and people he knew.
Yeah.
Experiences he had during the Cold War.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was talking about. There is a great deal of verisimilitude when you have someone who knows what they're talking about. But when you have some moron Gen Z kid who, only knows about life from the internet and TikTok, you get what you get.
Well, to be fair, I don't know. Maybe. Let's move on to the next article. 8-episode TV shows are the new normal, and it sucks. Yeah, I did like this title.
8-episode TV shows. That is not a season.
It is if you're
That
in
is
England.
not a season. That's not even half a season.
Anyway, I did have to cut some of these articles down, but you can check them out if you. Oh, wait, hold on. Where am I looking for? I went too far. Hold on. Give me a minute. Okay, here we go. Last month, I had a chance to catch up on some shows that I've been meaning to watch, like The Witcher, Hawkeye, The Sandman, and The Umbrella Academy, among others. Yeah, I know some of these series have been out for a few years. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people who will put off a show for a very long time until I finally feel like exploring it. That said, I've started to become increasingly disappointed with this 8 episode per season trend that shows are now starting to follow. I'm not an old man, so it wasn't that long ago that TV shows were clocking in at around 20 episodes per season. Lost, The Sopranos, The Office, Arrow, Smallville are just a few shows I remember from the 2000s, early 2010s that had longer broadcasting schedules. However, even though they had longer seasons, they were still entertaining and well written. In fact, if you ask anybody about TV from back in the day, I guarantee that some of the shows I listed would be in most people's top 10s. As time has gone on, though, newer shows have evolved to accommodate the ever-changing standards of the entertainment industry. But why is that? And have these changes created problems in the way that TV media is presented to us today? In the era of Netflix, Hulu, and Prime Video, binge watching has become the primary method in which most people engage with TV content. Unlike 2 decades ago, where we had to watch shows on a weekly schedule, streaming platforms have popularized the concept of releasing entire seasons at once. As a result, it's easier for people to commit to a series they know where the endpoint is. Sadly, I feel it's the same instant gratification that fuels the reduction in content we see in shows today. Modern life has become very fast-paced, and we're surrounded by various forms of stimulus at nearly all times. Consequently, fixing our attention on things for dedicated periods of time has almost become something of a challenge now. I'd even go as far to say that viewer habits post-2015 don't ally well with weekly series at all anymore. With that in mind, it would make sense that the 8 episode format works better than binge watching 20 plus episodes. At the same time, viewer habits and the response to those habits by production companies have created a bleed effect with disheartening implications. This is storytelling effectiveness. Does anybody remember that 2005 series produced by Warner Brothers called Supernatural?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a horror drama series that followed two brothers by the name of Sam and Dean Winchester. These two would travel all over the country saving people from demons, ghosts, and other paranormal creatures. It ended up having a total of 15 seasons, with the last episode airing in 2020. That said, any show that manages to survive that long must have some good storytelling behind it, right? In the case of Supernatural, absolutely. With the exception of season 3, every other season of Supernatural produced an average of 22 episodes. A series that long probably wouldn't survive in today's streaming world, but its length is exactly what people engaged to it back then. Supernatural wasn't just a series about Sam and Dean hunting monsters. It was also about their relationship as brothers and how they connected with everyone who came into their world. When the show wasn't focused on a central seasonal plot, it was essentially a glorified road trip. At the end of it all, we got to know Sam and Dean outside of their regular adventures. People found themselves relating deeply with those characters in the world at large, which is why Supernatural is still praised to this day. All of that said, one of the obvious symptoms of reducing shows in the shorter formats is the effect it's had on world building. Sure, having 8 episodes in a series allows for a more streamlined experience. However, if a season's entire narrative is condensed to just a few hours of content, then when do you get an opportunity to immerse yourself in the fillers?
And this is what I think they're missing about things like sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah.
That world building is incredibly important to the viewers. They want to live in that world. So they want those kinds of details. If you're not giving it to them, they are not hooked. They're just not.
Short series are what Max Headroom told us about. Interesting.
Blipverts, yeah. And welcome, by the way, Booger. Good to see you.
So as shows have become more expensive to produce, many studios don't want to take the risk of investing in a project that's uncertain to succeed. It's far easier to produce a simple, limited series on streaming platforms than a full season. I want to bring up the Penguin show that HBO did. It was another one of these short series. I don't know if it was like 8 or 10 episodes long, right? But it was a huge success. Whether or not you personally care for it, it was a huge success. And I keep thinking with Warner Brothers, it's like, are we going to get another season? I don't know.
Jesse is asking, wasn't
go
Supernatural based on the World of Darkness and Werewolf the Apocalypse, etc.? Those are all the role-playing games from the Vampire the Masquerade series. I'm not sure if it was actually based on it, but it definitely had a lot of the same feel. You could totally have used the World of Darkness role-playing set to do your own Supernatural role-playing game. You absolutely could, sure.
Unfortunately, this creates situations where new shows are produced more often with hit or miss levels of quality. On one hand, an eight-episode series could be a top-viewed moneymaker. On the other hand, it could have a significant drop-off in viewership, in which case losses can be cut without having to waste too much capital. Is this what I go to where now, because that they're trying? I feel like they're treating entertainment like internet startups now.
These companies have become incredibly lazy and more interested in garnering outside dollars from special interest groups and non-government agencies trying to push agendas than they are in actual writing good stories. That's what it comes down to. That's right. The show that you might have been thinking of was The Kindred, which was an excellent series based on Vampire the Masquerade. Unfortunately, when the lead vampire character, his actor, died, they chose not to continue for a second season. And that's really, really too bad. I also remember it actually had a great cast, too. I can't remember the historical figure played by Stacey Hayduke, who played Lana Lang in the Superboy series. She played... I'm drawing a blank, and one of you guys are probably going to remember her name. She was a real historic figure, but, fictitiously became a vampire and was a character in this story. Yeah. And Brian someone or other, who played a Klingon and a Romulan in Star Trek, played the Bruja leader. A lot of really good people were in that show.
Brian Bonsall?
No, Brian Bonsall was Worf's son. Someone's gonna look it up, and I'll bet Nate already is typing. I wouldn't be surprised. Lily Langtry, that's right, Booger. Thank you so much. Brian Thompson is who I was thinking of. You're absolutely right. And who was it who played the Nosferatu character? He played in a lot of things too. I give Hollywood and the broadcast network less than 5 years, and then it's over for them. I can't even argue that with you, me and my monkey. You're probably right.
So this is interesting because, of course, the new season of Stranger Things is finally airing. The final season.
I did want to comment on this when we were talking about it before. When you have a show that's all about kids and you go for 2-3 years between, these kids grow up, and you have 8-9-year-old kids being played by 19-20-year-olds.
Well, I think they were in high school by the last season. They were like, I think freshmen or something, or maybe they were.
Yeah, now they're approaching 30, playing high school kids.
What is it? 9 years. It's on its ninth year. Let's read this. This was an interesting article. Stranger Things executives. Hold on, let me get to this. Stranger Things creators explain.
Why does she look like Brie Larson in the recurring meme from
there was a
Captain
period
Marvel,
where all the women were screaming in things. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That was probably what that was from.
You're probably right. Yeah.
And I think the Horror King was asking favorite horror series, Ash versus the Evil Dead. That's my answer to that. Okay.
Friday the 13th, the series.
There you go. Stranger Things creators finally explain why there are such long gaps between seasons. Federico is a writer and... Okay, sorry. Excuse me. Okay, hold on. At the moment... Hold on. Okay, here we are. Sorry. I should have cut that out. The creators of Netflix giant Stranger Things have shared the reason why the streamer takes so long to release each season. Mm-hmm. The gaps between each season of Stranger Things have become notoriously long, with fans and some that have become ex-fans continuously expressing their outrage at Netflix over the excruciating wait, but it's not exactly the streamer's decision. While Netflix surely had some say in the matter when planning season 5 schedule, it turns out that it's because the Duffers have planned these gaps all along. They just don't like it when shows come out year on year for some reason. The creative duo spoke to Variety as they tweaked the final season of Stranger Things, premiering on Netflix in November 2025. The siblings have spent their last 10 years making the fantasy horror show for the streamer, but their exclusive development deal has officially come to an end. They have now signed a deal with Paramount, which will let them do what they really want, Ross Duffer said. When Matt and I were talking about what we want to do next, it really came down to what we want to do: a movie, specifically an original movie, a big original film, and theatrical is so important to us. It's just something we dreamed about since we were little kids, Ross says when addressing the new opportunity at Paramount. They want to make movies next, but this doesn't mean they won't continue producing TV shows. With a credit as important as Stranger Things, they will surely create content for the small screen. What types of TV shows? Well, apparently the ones with extended gaps between seasons.
Yeah.
If TV shows come out every year, it's diminishing return. I like the build-up, Matt explained. If you closely follow the show, you might have noticed that with each season, the gap between each one grew. It took the Duffers 1 year and 3 months to deliver season 2. With season 5, they have taken their time, and now the wait has exceeded 3 years. Matt Duffer also added that they prefer 8 to 10 episode seasons and that their content with Paramount will likely follow the successful structure they've used so far. It sounds strange, but for a show as impactful as Stranger Things, the Duffers have only produced 34 episodes in almost 10 years, which by any measure is a really low count, Duffer continued.
Yep.
I get fatigued watching 20-episode seasons. We didn't grow up interested in any of that. We only watched movies. That's the weird thing, that we ended up in TV because we had almost zero interest in television. During the interview, the Duffers also took the time to tease season 5 with a couple.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
Stop right there. I want to go back to that.
Done. Yes.
What you just said.
Yes.
Because that's exactly what I think Jesse is speaking about here. He says Stranger Things should have been an animated series instead of a live action because of the long wait between seasons. But no, let's go back to what Boomer just read there. They aren't into doing 20 episode seasons because they want to. They are thinking movies. They're thinking movies.
They make movies.
Well, then you should have made them damn movies. You should have done these as movies. You could have done, 3 sets of 3 movies, 3 trilogies.
Okay.
And you could have spaced them out however the F you wanted to. You did not do that. You decided to make it a series, so you should make it a damn series.
I'm going to tell you something else, too. I think Stranger Things would have been a huger deal if they had been more consistent with bringing out the seasons. I think, yes, it's a popular Netflix series. I think it would have been huge. It would have been a real cultural touchstone, more than it is. And I'm not saying it isn't, but I think people got sick of the long waits between seasons.
And you know who made the most money off of this? Hasbro. Because they sell more Dungeons and Dragons crap when this show comes out than at any other time. I kid you not.
Yes. It's just ridiculous. And I originally thought this was because of the strikes and the pandemic, and that slowed down production. And now I'm realizing, no, this is just their intent all along.
Yeah.
All right. I got to back.
Me and my monkey draws a comparison to George Lucas. George Lucas didn't make a series. He made, sets of 3 movies. And he spaced them out as appropriate. As a kid, it seemed like there was a huge wait between Star Wars and Empire. And a huge wait between Empire and Jedi. There wasn't. It was just a couple of years. That's as much time as there is between these damn seasons.
So that explains it. But my problem is I think that they also set a bad example for other people in the industry who also started doing these gap seasons.
Agreed.
And you can't do gap seasons because you lose momentum.
Yep.
And I don't get it. But Geek Flag is also a fan of Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I am too. Which was interesting because the way that show was done, they were half-hour episodes, was almost like watching a serial. Like when each episode would end like on a cliffhanger and things like that, But and our final article of the night, you're gonna love this one. Dumb it down as streamers focus on second screen content. OTT drowns in formulaic, predictable, boring content. Okay, as the audience in India have come to have this is in India too have come to embrace this new form of ambient viewing. Streaming platforms have begun taking notice and reverse engineer the scripts for their shows and films according to. sample the likes of Call Me By, Prime Video India, Home Shanti, Joe Histar, Mama Legal High, or the most recent due for. These are feel-good shows with a clear potential of packing in more nuance and pace, but it almost feels like they're not allowed to be smarter because there is an expectation that they'll be consumed in the background. The viewer is still watching even if they are not. They're no longer even bothering with wolfing down the show at 2 times. They're just letting it glide by in the background as they treat their smartphones as the first screen. Does it matter that they're tuning out, not in measuring the number of hours watched, but in the quality of content? Now, to be fair, this is being written from an Indian perspective, but they mention other things. I think it's going to hit over here, too. While most writers haven't yet been briefed directly to write for the second screen, there have been many struggling writers who have been told their scripts aren't conducive to ambient viewing. I've been told that too, and I said, thank God, Quicks, Sumuki Suresh, head of Motormouth Productions, a content creation company. Honestly, I've been told, and I have taken it as a compliment.
Then you're a moron. You are absolutely a moron. These are the same people that are like, oh, we're upsetting all the right people. It's not made for you. We don't want you istophobes watching the show. It's all your fault that my show wasn't successful. You people are just idiots. You are morons who don't deserve the jobs you have.
Listen to this. Sudip does agree with diminishing attention spans are inevitable now. Today, people can't watch a film in a theater without looking at their phone. Unfortunately, I've seen this happen when I've been in theaters. They can't watch anything at home without talking or pressing pause, and they can't spend an hour without looking at their phones. There is very limited patience left for anything to engage you, and there is continuous overloading of information to not allow anything to stay with you, he adds. A show like Severance... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Because this is exactly why when we're doing a watch party, I will point out scenes that go a little bit slower, and I'm like, this is good pacing. They're not rushing this. They give you a chance to feel it. They don't do that anymore.
Well, it's funny because someone was pointing out about Revenge of the Sith when it got released in theaters, and this guy had taken his brother to see it. And he was pointing out that even though the people rag on the prequel sometimes, they said there are scenes in there where you get to have smaller moments with Anakin where they just let the steam breathe.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
A show like Severance, I love it, but there are some days I feel it requires too much mental focus to watch. Sometimes you want entertainment that allows your mind to wander without being punished for it, which itself is not a problem. The problem is what we do the moment our minds wander in 2025, which is pull out our phones, said Azim Banatwala.
No, the short attention span theater starts with the writer. They have a short attention span theater. They don't know how to tell good, well-crafted stories. They just know how to boop, 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 move on to the next thing. That is the problem.
Anyway, I bring this up because I think that this is something that may end up emerging with television where it has to be more ambient in the background. Now, granted, this is from an Indian thing, but I was looking this up online, and apparently there are Western shows, too, that are apparently what they call this ambient viewing. Like, I think Emily in Paris is considered one of these, where, you don't have to pay too much attention to it. You just have it on in the background if you want to be doing other things, which doesn't defeat the purpose of watching it.
But here's the other problem. It doesn't engage you enough for you to care about the next episode. And it doesn't have you wanting to talk about the show or think about the show or be invested in the show. Therefore, the show will never be, beloved and a success in any measure. That's your problem. Yeah. And yet, how many shows have we talked? We're talking about Twin Peaks, where we just watched 3 seasons of a show. And then we started watching some of the movies that David Lynch did. And after the holidays, we're going to go and rewatch those 3 seasons all over again. Because after 30 years, we're still talking about this show because there was so much there. Every episode, there's things to pick apart and chew on and talk about and reason out. You can't do that with this fluff. It's fluff that they're giving us now.
So what have we learned tonight, Charlie Brown? I take that from the special.
That there's nothing worth watching these days, and that's why we're trying to bring you stuff from the past that you might not know about.
Well, I think TV as we know it is dying.
It is. It absolutely
That's
is.
what I think, and I'm not saying that there aren't even decent streaming shows out there, but
And
it's
but
just
if
I
you
think it's just
and the problem is, if you look at Hollywood, you look at the box office, movies are dying too. I'm
but I
telling you,
yeah.
all of these marketing problems and all of these bad decisions in the content that they're putting out is just a symptom of the fact that you've got morons running these companies destroying their own industries. Period.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to.
That's it.
You like my last picture there?
Carol Ann, yeah. So
Because think about it, the TV was a big deal back in the day. You know?
I was telling you in the backdrop about a video that I had just seen. It was Gorilla's Random Thoughts sent me a stream, an episode or whatever you'd call it of Tim Pool's show, and he was talking with a priest who his role in the church is he's an exorcist.
Right.
And he is, and what I found fascinating was he was drawing comparisons between demonic possession, like real world demonic possession and the story behind it. And, well, he was first saying, yeah, it's not like the movies. It's not what you think it is first. And he compared it to what's going on with the advancement of communism. And he said that a big part of the spiritual war that we're fighting and literally the cultural war is, and you don't even have to believe in demons and possession to believe this, just evil actors pushing agendas by corrupting people's minds and the way they think through media, through entertainment, through story. He said that's what, all corruption is, whether you see it as a spiritual demonic possession or demonic influence or this very verifiable thing that you see in front of you in the real world with people celebrating the deaths of other people and wishing for the deaths of their ideological opponents.
Horrific. And then they win elections.
And there was a time when we used to say, where a lot of older generations would look at television and they referred to it as the boob tube or the idiot box because they felt people were just sitting and, mindlessly watching it. And now we're looking back and we're going, it's gotten so much worse. That was actually the good times. That was actually still a part of culture where people could come together and talk about, this really great episode of All in the Family. Boy, it really got me thinking about, this cultural thing or this political thing or whatever. What do you think about that? Do you agree with Archie? Well, yeah, some of what Archie said makes a lot of sense, but yeah, I whatever, right? Now it's become it really has become a bunch of trash that nobody is really uplifted by anymore. It is literally just defining deviancy down.
And what I had remembered, I lately I was feeling nostalgic for the X-Files, but then it dawned on me, it's not that I feel nostalgic for the X-Files, I feel nostalgic for these shows I would get invested in that would last a while during a season.
Yeah.
I think the last show like that for me was Bull, the Michael Weatherly series.
Yeah.
Which had an off final season because they got rid of the showrunner because I guess he was too mean. The guy that created Moonlighting, veteran. I noticed this too. A lot of the old guys got kicked out. Like that one guy got kicked out, Mosley, I think, from Discovery. Remember?
All people that were the talent,
yes,
are seen by the cultural Marxists as the enemies that need to be gotten rid of. Well, that's fine, but you're not bringing the talent to replace them. So all you have is an empty box. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But
it's ridiculous. And yeah, that's where we are. But yeah.
So,
And so,
of course,
what we do is we read books and just pretend each chapter is an episode.
or stick with me. I will keep bringing you really good, uplifting things. I am starting that new series. I'll be bringing you The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes every Tuesday night. Stay with me for that. I will keep bringing you movies that you guys choose. If you are a member of my channel, every Monday night, you guys get to choose. Looks like this Monday will be Zombieland. Stick with Netter and Big Al Presents. Tomorrow on Big Al Presents, we'll be watching Lethal Weapon 2. And of course, Boomer and I will continue to rant about the craziness that's going on in geek culture every Sunday night at 8 Central on Geeky Geezers.
Got some interesting stories for Sunday, like a big Star Trek update, which I'll have to talk to you about after. I think maybe that could be a subject for next week's stream. But,
Sure.
But it's up to you if you want to go there. All right.
That's okay, Nate. We are literally just wrapping up right now, so we're ending it right here. So yeah, any last thoughts, any last words, Boomer, before we put this baby to bed?
I miss TV and I want it back, and I guess maybe I need to just find shows I missed that I didn't watch. Like, well, maybe Scrubs. Maybe Scrubs is good. Maybe I should watch that. I don't.
I'm no Superman.
Well, you know, Boomer, you can watch some of these shows from the Blast from Our Past on Philo.
She's right.
That's where I'm finding. I mean, I'm finding Leave It to Beaver.
Yep.
And
there's a lot of shows
There's
on
some good
Tubi
stuff.
too.
Dennis the Menace, and there's also Tubi has a lot of good stuff on it too.
Yeah.
Tubi had Welcome Back, Kotter for a bit. I don't know if they still do. Remember Welcome Back, Kotter?
Oh gosh.
Mr. Kotter.
Your dreams were your ticket out. Hell, I had some of the Mego action figures. Yeah, they had Mego action figures of the Leave It. Leave It to yeah, they had they had all the Sweat Hogs. I think they had Mr. Cotter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Well, it would be dumb if they didn't. He was
right,
like the leader
and
of the show.
they had the classroom. They had the classroom as a playset. But,
You and me both, Jesse. I missed the 90s.
I want to get back to the 70s, to be honest with you. But I'll be happy with the 80s. I'd be happy.
80s I'd be okay with, but video games started to peak. Well, there's still great games being made now, but there's a lot of great stuff in the 90s for games. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Booger. I think is referencing Juan Epstein, the Puerto Rican Jew. He's like,
yes.
Oh, let me guess, you were Puerto Rican on your father's, or no, you're Jewish on your
mother's side.
Mother's side. No, my mother was my father was Rabidowitz. I don't remember.
It was fun. It was this big complicated thing. What I thought was, I always wondered what ethnicity Horshack was. I assumed Polish, but I could be wrong, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it did seem to be implied that he was.
Of course, Barbarino. Barbarino was, of course,
Barbarino was very Italian. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just. It was.
I don't know about Freddie Boom Boom Washington. I'm not sure what his ethnicity is. Not really entirely certain.
Yeah, I know. That was a great cast. I do miss it.
Really was. It really was. I loved that show.
But
yeah,
it's just,
well, you know what they say about Epstein and what he didn't do to himself. But that's a whole other story. Anyway.
It's just sad. It's like, what do I have to watch? You get 4 hours of Dateline each week. I don't want to watch this crap.
Nobody's watching it. That's why the ratings are in the yeah. No, that was autocorrect what I typed. Mego. Okay, yeah. Oh, Mego Sweat Hogs. I thought you Menorah. Turned Mego into Menorah. That is so funny. Oh, I love that. Don't worry about it, Booger. That was a great little haha. But yeah. So anything else that we haven't covered, Boomer, that we need to hit?
No, I mean, we got stuff going on during the week. Like, I know you're going to be doing your Sherlock rewatches. I think you mentioned that in the in between, though.
Yeah,
and,
we got the promos for all of that. You guys know what's coming up.
And tune into Deleted Scenes channel for his Unscripted on Sunday, definitely.
Exactly right. Netter, any last thoughts, any last words before I
Yes.
put you to bed?
So I want to remind everyone that, well, if you didn't watch Thursday Things, well, then you don't know about this, but I dropped a new vid for how to make the honey lemon ginger in a jar. And if you did watch Thursday Things, well, then you do know about it. But yeah, you can go over to my channel and you can watch the vid. I'd appreciate if you gave it a like, maybe drop a comment down there, just so I get some
Traction.
yeah, that's a good word for it. Get some visibility in there. And for the rest, it's like, you know what? I just appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
You are so encouraging, and I am so happy that you are part of our family.
Agreed.
It's like we have a fantastic community here, and it's because you guys show the love. You are Osmo.
You really
So
are.
thank you again for being here, and until next time, good night and God bless.
Yep. Thanks, guys, so much. It's always a blast hanging out with you. You are the guys that I want to start the weekend with. You really are. I want to say a special thank you to Ruby Hoove for the gifted membership. I missed this, I think, earlier. Nate dropped a 12-month member chat to say, oh, no, Troy, we're talking about this. Yeah, I told you guys could go ahead and keep talking about Die Hard in the chat if you wanted to. And Connie Cleary for $2 to give me a thumbs up. I super
So
appreciate
Geek
that.
Flag, does that mean that you're like, oh no, we're talking about this, and you took off your ears and prepared to fight?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much. Remember, I am trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It doesn't even take you a lot of time to do. Share out the stream. Let your friends know that they should be subscribing. I would really, really appreciate that. And if I can get to 100 members by the end of the year, that would be amazing. That would be the best Christmas/birthday gift you could possibly give. So if you're not a member, consider becoming a member. If you're already a member, consider gifting a membership. And with that, I'm going to say thank you all so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you on the next one. If you drink responsibly. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Good night, ladies. Good night, sir. Hit it, sweetheart.
The neon lights are fading, closing time is near. Whispers in the corners, secrets shared sincere. The bartender's polishing the final glass. Time slips away like moving through the grass. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true. One more round, friends, from me and you. Let's toast to the night, to the stories we've spun. Here's to the laughter and to what's begun. The shadows are dancing as we linger still. Every clink of a glass, a memory to distill. Beneath this smoky haze, our feelings they unfurl. A tapestry of whispers in this corner of the world. The jukebox serenades us with a final tune, crooning to the lonely and the lovers under the moon. With every soft note, the end draws ever near. But in this fleeting moment, there's nothing to fear. Last call for alcohol, make your dreams come true.